Welcome back, everybody, and thank you, Linda, for joining us for another fabulous session answering viewers' questions. And today's Q&A session comes from Mark Jenkins. Now, before I get into it, Mark would like to thank you very much. Great video again. Thank you both for the wonderful content. Thank you, Mark. We really, truly appreciate your feedback. And on that note, I think we'd better answer your question, don't we, Linda?
We have to.
Oh, go on, just for Mark.
Go on then.
Mark's question.
With it. Go on.
Mark's question is a really good one here. He asked this question on our Class M MA lease option conversion video. Now, Mark's question is, I have seen a C1 property house converted into 4 flats. Now, for our viewers, to put that into plain language, a C1 is a property which could be classed as a hotel or a guest house of some description. So it's not residential, it is deemed as a hotel holiday let type use. I would like to convert back to residential, but keep the flats the way they are and just upgrade them. I read Class C1 can go back to prior use of the building under prior approval, which in this case was a residential house. The property is located in Blackpool, and the council in Blackpool say any C1 which gets converted must contain 2 bedrooms. So I'm unsure if this can be done under prior approval. The flats at the moment are currently 1 bedrooms, but Blackpool's policy is for 2. They meet national space standards. So that is an interesting question there, Linda, because I guess this is a nutty little one that lots of people in serviced accommodation, people who find bed and breakfasts, hotels which have gone bust as a result of COVID, are sitting there looking at and going, I'm in a C1 use class and I want it to move to a C3 residential use class. And Mark Jenkins is asking the question about this prior approval from C1 to C3. Can you help a little bit here?
I'd love to know where Mark, hello Mark, by the way, I'd love to know where Mark has read that you can go from C1 to C3 to residential using a prior approval procedure. Because I'm not aware of anything that says that anywhere. Now, I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
I would add on to that. I mean, you and I both have large resources of...
Oh, steady.
Oh, yeah. We've got large resources, Linda, of planning permitted developments from various different authorities. Number one being legislation.gov. We rely upon Lichfield, which is a planning consultancy that actually advises government. And they produce little guides and charts, as well as many other places. But I don't ever recall seeing a prior approval or a permitted development from C1 to C3. Yeah. So it's an interesting question that Mark has posed, and it's got both of us scratching our heads here.
Well, it's a question to which the answer is no. You cannot use, as far as I know, with all of the stuff that we've done, there is no prior approval procedure to go from C1 to C3. Now, that's the basic principle. If you are looking at this at auction or you're looking to buy it, if that's what you want to do with it, walk away now, because you're not going to do it. You are going to need full planning permission. And then you've got to be careful with Blackpool. Blackpool have had some serious problems in the past. And I was looking at one for a client the other day for converting a care home into service accommodation, hotel type stuff. And that was going, and I appreciate that was going the other way, but because it wasn't in the area where hotels are permitted, other than existing hotels, you couldn't convert it back. The answer was just no. If you submit we did a prior approval, we had a chat with the planner, she was brilliant. If you submit this, it will be refused. Simple as that. Equally, I suspect the answer from Blackpool will be, and I've done quite a few of these, and I did one very similar that was a B&B, and the client wanted to put 5 flats in there. This was before the nationally described space standards, and it was a full planning application. The council just said no, because the flats, they were studio and 1 bedrooms, and what they're trying to do is get away from a whole raft of very, very small micro flats and HMOs, because their housing stock has taken a nosedive, because everybody wanted to convert the B&Bs, because all the B&B owners were moving out. And this has happened over the last several years. It's not recent. So one of their policies to combat this, and what we had to do with this, was go from 5 to 3. The ground floor ended up being a disabled access, and it was a 2-bedroom flat, and all of the corridors were widened and doorways and everything else. So from that point of view, if you want to convert this to flats, they will have to be, if that's what the policy says and you've looked at it in the right area, they will have to be 2-bedroom. I don't know whether Blackpool use the nationally described space standards, or whether they have their own standards. You need to find out that. As we're not doing a prior approval, this would need to be a full planning application. If it's a full planning application, you would have to provide all of the for flats, you'd have to provide all of the bin storage, the cycle storage, the car parking and amenity space, either communal or for each flat. And they would have to be, if they're using the nationally described space standards and they're 2 beds, they can be between 61 square meters and 70 square meters. So the fact is, if this is what you want to do with this building, you can convert it to 1 single dwelling house. I don't know how that is going to stack up financially.
Well, that's a really detailed answer, Linda, and it's looking to me like we may need to reappraise whether this is a deal or a no deal on this particular instance. And if a council is minded to be difficult when working with you, my personal advice is find a different area where the councils are easier to work with.
It's not about being difficult. I will stand up for council planners on this. They have policies. They have policies that are relevant to their area. It's about the differences between areas. Blackpool have had a very serious problem with their poor housing stock, and they're trying to rectify that with policies. The planners are not being difficult. They are simply going with the policies that are in place and saying, this is what you have to comply with. And to be perfectly honest, Mark, in asking this question and getting advice, whether it's from us on a video or from your architect or your planning consultant or whoever, you're doing the right thing, because he's looked at the planning policies. He knows what the issues are, and he's asking questions of us. Now, that means that you're doing stuff before you go ahead and buy the property. And lots of people come to both of us when they've already bought properties, and then they find out that they can't do what they want to do with it. That's when you've got a problem.
That's a painful and very expensive problem to have, and one that you really don't want. Take the advice, research everything you can before you commit to buying.
It's called due diligence.
Absolutely.
And common sense. You need to know what you're dealing with.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more, Linda. And I think that is a really great answer, a short answer to your question. And I hope that helps you, Mark. And if you've got a similar question, drop it below, and we will endeavour to answer your question in a future upcoming video. I know we've got lots of viewers who are sending feedback in. We've got Darren, the shareholder bond, saying excellent and most informative videos. It's a good job the new PD rights are bringing new simplicity to the planning system. We've got Yogesh who says, great videos, keep them coming, guys. So thank you very much for your comments that keep coming in. We really appreciate them. And on that note, that's all we've got time for today, but stay tuned, smash that share, like, and comment below, because we have more videos coming up for you soon, answering your questions. Goodbye from me, Andrew.
Thank you, and it's goodbye from me, Linda.